today is the guessing, and we're going to try and show you how you can eliminate that. Okay. So let's get started with you could see the two screens, right? We started with this.
Sure, sure.
Okay. So this is just telling you that we're able to view interaction of clients wherever you are, and whenever you're interested, you could just go in and see your clients interact through any kind of device. But let's go to the basic model, or what is it about? Looking at it from a historical perspective, anyone who comes to your website, their interaction is being recorded. And if that person comes in multiple times, you could actually look at them, look at all their activity, every single session, and the term session means every time they come, including their page, the page views is one session. So they come today, this is a session, tomorrow or later, this is another session. This could be customized to become the name of the customer. Instead of 82 past customer sessions, it could become 82 past ABC telecommunication session. So you know it's ABC Telecom that has come 82 times and interacted and maybe logged in. If you have a login, all that could be associated with that client itself. So as we said, every session here is recorded, and the number of pages or the pages are showing on the bottom. So what you could do here is you could either look at as you're seeing it, people are interacting, going around. You could view them in an expanded mode like I'm showing you. You could speed it up. You could slow them down. And this is remember, this is historical, so you can't speed up real time, otherwise we'll have that amazing remote control that can make people go faster. So that's not what. So the speed up and the slow down are for historical. The expansion, you could see it at any time. But remember, what you see here is going to be the exact size browser that they're using. So if they're using an iPhone, you'll see an iPhone size browser. If they're using a iPad or a desktop, you'll see the same thing. Now, our biggest asset that's coming up in a couple of weeks that will become part of the whole system is the ability to capture finger movements on an iPad, iPhone, or any smart device. The pinch in, pinch out, you know what that is, right? To zoom in.
When you click, or is that pinch?
Or when you zoom, you remember when you move your fingers away from each other, you zoom in.
Yeah. I got you.
So in 2 weeks, we've already captured that. I'm going to give you insight. I don't usually show this to people, but I'm going to show this to you. Let me just find it for you. I want to show you this because it's so exciting for me. Real live demo. Okay, watch this. This is a test, okay? So you could see how the finger is moving.
Okay.
That's a click when you press the screen.
Yeah.
They're capturing the typing on an iPad or on any smart device or mobile pad. Now look at the fun part. It's coming up right now. When someone will tilt their screen, it will show you they tilted the screen. You know what I mean? The rotation of the screen. So you're really able to capture everything, not just small things.
Okay.
Okay? So that we'll go from that back to where we were. So basically, so we discussed how you can look at recording expandability plus the pages. Now, on the left, on the bottom here, session overview is basically a micro view over your customer's activity for a specific session. How long their engagement is, any kind of statistic that you're used to with the regular analytics, the Google Analytics and etc. You can actually decide to put here. Our system is built from scratch, from zero, from the ground up. So we have access to all our data. We're not using open source items like anything out in the market. We've built it all. So our ability to get any information is available. And remember, we store 1,000 times more data than anyone exists today, because every single movement of your mouse on your website is a point of information. So the amount of knowledge you get is way more than anyone else, but at the same time, it's simplified into very detailed information that you can use in a very user-friendly way, as opposed to get overwhelmed with too much data. You tell us, I want to see these, and these are the things you'll see. So you could see they're using a Mac, they're going through Firefox, and they're calling from the US. On the right side, the customer history is your macro view. You're seeing it from a high point where this is across the history of the customer. How many times did they come to the site? How many visited pages did they do? The value score is very important because you could assign a value based on a specific criteria. For example, Johan, you say, if ABC Telecom comes more than 3 times, I want to consider them a high value. And I say, and you will say, anyone who makes more than 100 points will be a high value. So if you see 127, now you could say this is a high value client. Now, how do you track that? That's the big question today. Today, we offer you the ability to segment all the visitors live and right there and then. Plus, all your history will be segmented as well. So if you say, I want to segment all the high value people, it can create a tag such as this that tells you everyone who is high value of score above a number you decide, let's say 100, will be tagged with a tag like this. And you can actually go back and get a report on those high value clients. Not the whole customer base, only the people you want to see, because you may have hundreds and thousands of visitors to your website. You don't want to sit down and look at one by one. You want to look at the top 200. You want to look at another segment, people coming from England that have spent more than a minute on my website and have submitted a form. All those things you can actually put into groups, so you could really filter the information to the stuff that you're interested in. You can still do general macro reporting across the board of all visitors, especially, your website is probably costs you a lot of money and maintaining it a lot of money. So every square inch on your website is high valuable, what we call real estate, like property, like you're buying. So you want to make sure everything on your website that you're putting is either viewed, or make sure we have the right data there. Because if you want to show information about your new offerings and you're putting it on the bottom right corner of the website, they're not going to, people are not going to see it right here on the bottom. They want to probably see it here, so you move it. In a bit, I'll show you heat maps that will show you where people are browsing, and you're going to say, oh, they're not coming to the bottom right corner. I might as well put my offering on the top left corner. Does that make sense to you?
Sure.
So, but now the fun part is tags are not only clicks and hits and page views. They're behavioral. Let's say you have, do you guys provide, do you sell online? Do you sell your products online?
No, we don't.
No. So let's say your conversion today is you want people to convert through completing a form, which you have on your contact page. Now your objective is people who are interested, I want them to complete this form so they could come and so we would know who they are. So if you get to a point where you see people are typing and you have a long form here, even though its second part is optional, they get to the 4th line and they say, oh my God, and they abandon. Today, you're going to know, okay, 40% of your people abandoned. How do you really know why did they abandon? You have no idea. There's no tool today that tells you why they abandoned. Well, for us, we could say, anyone who abandons, tag them. Let me go and see what they did and what caused them to abandon. And you might evaluate, oh, I may have a very long form to complete. Or you may have a security. You know those websites that have a security statement, I agree, and you have to agree on this big thing that makes you feel like you're going to go to jail if you don't. Those people, some people are afraid of those, and they don't end up abandoning because they don't want to type that. And some people put it on their website just for the sake of looking important. Well, ultimately, they may decide to take it off because now they're increasing their conversion rate and having more people complete their contact form. So these are examples for you. Another interesting one. Today, if you have an error on one of the pages on your website, how many times do you think a client will call you and say, Johan, you have an error, and I saw that. Do you really see anyone calling you if you have an error?
No.
No, they
Never
would.
happened.
What would they do? They would
Well,
just
once
abandon.
it happened, but that was a crazy guy. Crazy guy.
Right.
So yeah, you're right.
How stressful is it on you if you have an error, especially an error created from the website, not from the server, because you probably have millions of dollars invested in your IT team that is monitoring the server all the time. But if a website error occurs, no one can detect, and especially if it happens where the conversion needs to take place, your clients are going to go somewhere else, and they're going to say, okay, who cares? I don't have time to deal with this. Well, today, if you, for example, you can tag your errors, especially the 404 error or any website generated error, you can either send a notification immediately to your IT team, say, go look at that recording. So an error occurred in this, and I want you to find it now because we can't afford losing clients. So you can tag all the errors, send notifications, and go view it. How many times have you gone to the, taken your car to the mechanic and want to show him the problem, and you can never, you can't show him. You've been hearing this noise, and when you get to the mechanic of the car, you're telling the, oh, I don't know, it's coming up, but I can't regenerate the error for you. Well, here, you don't say that anymore. You just show it to them. You say, here, every time I press this, look, I'm seeing an error. So I just I spent more time on this tagging because it's so important for you to know how much information you can get and how you can segment not only your customer base, but also interactions on your website, the behaviors, things that are happening on your website for better experience of their users. Key actions is similar to tagging, but it's more action. Exactly, who submitted this form, who visited this page, and you can segment your market that way, as opposed to tagging, which is a multiple things of actions and behavioral items, such as who hesitated around my security, who went and visited this for 3 minutes, interacted here, came to this page. So it's more complicated. You have to decide how you want to tag. So based on that, we can move to our live view. So one of our biggest features at Oopgo is our ability to capture, like I told you in the beginning, the live interaction of a client. Anytime you could actually view the client interacting live on your website. And the best part of that, you want to engage with them, you could send a chat message and start engaging with them. You don't want to freak them out initially. Probably you don't want to say, hey, I see you. You're going to say, would you like to chat? Just like that. And they would say yes, and maybe you can start talking to them and maybe convert a prospect into a sale. So that's one of the greatest abilities, in addition to being able to view these people on the live there and then. Here's the place when you tag someone. See those bottom flags on the bottom here? Do you see those, Johan?
Yes, I see them. Yeah.
Those are tags. You say, I want to look at my high value. I want to look at my high value clients, and you're able to have a highlight or a red flag here saying this is high value. Go in and interact, or you can sit down and monitor. This screen will allow you to view as many visitors as you want in real time. You could say, I want to see 50. Or you could say, I only want to see the high-value clients. I don't want to see everyone. I have too many people. I don't have time for that. Okay? And from this screen, you could actually go to the detail and know that this live visitor today has 3 past sessions. And be able to go to a previous session and see what they did.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to stop here and ask you, did I confuse you, or are you understanding what Oopgo is now about?
No, I think it's pretty clear. The thing that strikes me is obviously if you have like, we don't have that much traffic though, but we have like 7,000-8,000 unique users per month on our site. So I guess mostly this is used for getting some kind of compound analysis, isn't it? I mean, I don't think that I will have time to go into an individual user and look at them.
You probably will never do that.
Once in a while.
Yeah, very rarely you'll do that. Only if you want to really know. I'll tell you when you will do it in a little bit. But in general, people use it from the macro level. What I'm showing you is the detail of the individual and show you how much data is collected here. So when you go to your big data, you'd know that you have a lot more data collected, a lot more segmentation and tagging capabilities that you can go in and now look at it from a macro perspective, how my 7,000 users are doing, or maybe my 1,000 users from Sweden. I want to focus on those today. Makes sense to you?
Yep.
Okay, so what I want to take you to is the back end right now. So your back end, when you go in and log in as you have our tool on your website, you could go in and see exactly what you see on any advanced analytics software package. You could choose any information you need from website visits, traffic, search engines, where people are coming from. You could look at geographical heat maps, anything you want, you could add here. This is an idea, shows you we've decided we want to put 6. You can put 9 if you want. You're familiar with this view, aren't you?
Sure. I haven't seen it exactly like this before, but I understand the concept, yes.
But the beauty of this is your ability, if you want today, to look at who came from Google. You just select that and it takes you to the recordings of those people that came, if you want to view specifically what these people are doing. In addition to that, any kind of statistics, macro level or micro level, you could tell us, I want to show on this page, because remember, the source for information is ours. We can do whatever we want with the data. You could look at your social reach, how many people are from desktop, mobile, browsing time, all the statistics you'd like to see.
Okay.
Now, that takes, I'll show you quickly live recordings. This is the session where you have live recordings. Right now, this is our, our test site. We don't have live, but if there is anyone live, it will be showing right here. And the video recordings are stored in such a manner. You have them as big thumbnails where you can identify the tags. And the nice thing here is this is the place you can filter by your tags. So I say I want to know every person who's high value. I say it and I say search. It will give me every person. You could add here the countries. I want to see everyone who's coming in from Sweden, for example. If we have Sweden here, if it is there, it may show you who it is. So you can go in there and now look at their interaction or create reports according to that. You could view this. You could view this in a list view, or you could keep it in a thumbnail view. But ultimately, the filters are the most important for you because, as you said, you don't have time to go in and see them one by one. So.
No.
What our system also allows you to do, those, you remember the tags that I showed you, you can create events here or you can create the tags here, all able in a user-friendly manner that you can do it yourself. Now, also one of the most exciting parts for me, I want to go to another website that I have here. Let me just go to I want to show you some of the heat maps. This is my test site that I use, but you could go in and generate heat maps. Are you familiar with heat maps?
I can almost understand from the word what it is.
Okay, a heat map could be multiple things. If I want to look at everyone who came on my site and I want to see based on the past month where these people have been clicking, for example, I'm able to show that. This is an area they clicked. What do you notice here? That no one's coming to the bottom part of my page, right?
Yeah.
So something's not right. In the bottom...
But
yeah.
You have the most heat on the side there. That doesn't make sense. What's there?
I'm happy you asked. I did that intentional for one reason, is that if you change, now this is a test site for sure, but remember this is an accumulation of a lot of the browsers types. So if you have a mobile phone, a pad, a desktop with a big screen, it takes the average. If you imagine, probably the majority of the people were going in through, let's say, the screen resolution. It may be a smaller screen resolution. And we go back to bankbig.com. I need to go to the smaller resolutions. You have to choose the resolution. For example, you chose 136 by 768. Now it gives you specifically on that kind of resolution where they clicked, where they were. And this is, remember, this is data this is a fake website that we use for simulation. So we're basically clicking the button everywhere just to create usage. So it's not really based on signing in. It's not a real website. Okay? So, but the nice thing about it, if like here, someone clicks in to go into the customer ID, you actually have who the visitor is, and always you can connect back to the recordings if you want to view that client. But did you understand why we saw the accumulation outside the page?
Yeah.
It's an average of all types of browsers, from an iPhone all the way to a 29 or 30-inch screen.
So really make it useful, you really need to go on browser by browser and screen size by screen.
100%, because you need to understand the usability. Usually this is for usability, and if you want to look at it, it's best to look at it from a browser by browser, so you could assess what an iPhone is seeing, how they're working, and then you see the others. And same thing, you could do it by mouse tracking. You could look at how the mouse is moving across your screen, and it will show you, because this is a larger data set, it will show you how the mouse is moving across the whole screen. It takes a little bit here just because it's the first time generating it. So this is the value here. Again, you'll see the accumulation right here. Again, because this is an average and you have to do it by browser. Okay, now the most important thing, which I think a lot of companies value who really care about their site, is understanding their conversions. Now, for you, for example, do you have a conversion, any criteria for conversion on your website?
Yeah, I mean, for me, a conversion is when somebody fills in a form.
Okay, let me just...
that is a conversion. We
excellent.
don't have any other kinds of conversions.
Very good. So that is a perfect, that's the majority of websites that don't sell online. Filling in the form is very crucial. So you're able to monitor here. You know, this is something you're used to probably with a lot of advanced analytics, or any analytics will show you people coming to the page, going to the contact page, and submitting your form. Now the interesting part with Oopgo is we can focus on the people that are not completing your form, because whoever completes your form, now you have their info, right? So you really don't care about those as much because you know who they are and you can talk to them. But the people that did not complete your info, you could actually go back and see why they didn't do that. And that's an important thing. In order to increase your conversion, you really need to understand why they did not do that. At the same time, people who abandoned you, you could see where their outlinks are going, or their inlinks, where they're coming from which site they're coming from, and what site they're leaving you to. So you know where they're going from to, and all that is always attached to your recordings again. So you could go back and say, okay, these people that abandoned, I want to see what they did before they abandoned me. Okay, so on top of all that, the data we have is unlimited and is open for you to manipulate the way you want. Because it's an open system for us, we own the structure, and we can give you access to that data. So if you say, I want this type of reports, we can deliver that to you, and you could have any statistics you can imagine. So how do you feel? Let me know what your thoughts are right now.
Yeah, how does this work? Is it a service, or is it something I install on my website, or okay. How does that work?
Very, very good question. This is, first thing we do is, and this would be interesting, we give you a four lines of code that you can put on every page you would like to start recording. What that does, it doesn't affect your website at all. So the speed, performance of your website is not even affected. It's like Google Analytics. And all it does, it sends data to a server, a remote server, that starts accumulating all this data that's being collected. You will have access through a dashboard to be able to view what you're seeing. How do we do this? There are two ways. If you, you could do it on a monthly basis, or you could do it, purchase the product, and then go on the annual maintenance fee. I personally suggest initially that clients, because of this new technology, start with the monthly, and then if they see it worth them investing bigger money in putting it in buying the product as a whole, then they can do that based on their experience. But initially, what we can also do for you is let you have a test trial. Let's open your website a little bit. Let's look at your website for a second.
We have a new one actually that is more relevant.
What is it?
Going to launch it on Friday.
Oh, you are? Wonderful.
Yeah, 260.70.90.173.
Let me go back.
216.
216.
Dot 70.
Yep.
Dot 90.
Yep.
Dot 173.
Oh wow, that's nice.
Thanks.
And here, so it's a whole new view of your website. Okay, wonderful. So what we can do is give you a set of code. Let me show you. You know how you look at the source. Three lines of code that you can add on the bottom of your source code, and that will track every page you want to record. You can do that, and then we'll give you the access to the back office to view this. Now, how do we price it? That was your question initially, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now you're telling me, do you know approximately how many page views you get, page views as opposed to just unique visitors?
Yeah, it's around 20,000 a month.
Okay, 20,000 per month. Okay, so based on 20,000 a month and 7,000 to 8,000 unique visitors, there are three types of fees that we charge. One is the setup fee if it's a very complicated website and you may encounter some major changes. That will be a setup fee, but we have to assess it first, and we can do that through the trial period, give you an estimate. But in general, for a website that has traffic like yours, it will be $750 per month for access to what you see today, and you'll be able to get the dashboard, and we try to minimize the customizations possible so you could be able to use it without big expenses in the beginning. Ultimately, if you want to customize and add, attach visitors to a CRM and all the other customization good to do, I suggest you use the system first and then decide to do that, because those are different type of customizations that can happen in the future. Our cost for customizations is $200 an hour for additional customizations that are out of the scope of this. The setup fee, we usually say it takes, if the website is complicated and we can tell you in advance, it'll take 10 to 20 hours of setup, and our setup fee is around $200 an hour, but which costs, maximum it will be $2,000, minimum it will be, or actually maximum $4,000, minimum $2,000 if it requires a lot of setup. Sometimes a website may require 3-4 hours too. So we will know that in the trial period that you're using, because we can go in and see what things need customization, and we'll report that to you. Is that clear, or do you understand the pricing strategy?
Sure. I understand.
So my question to you, would you like to test, would you like to try a test on your site for a period, well, let's say a month, and in that we will talk, I'll give you a demo how to use the back end, and then you can talk in a couple of weeks and see if you like it and you can use it?
Yeah, let me see how that would be then. A trial, what would that trial cost us? And
nothing. No, it's a free trial. It's
okay.
a free. I want you
All
to
right.
try it because I don't want you to get into a new technology without having first-hand experience. I want you to be as excited about it as I am. So I'll give you 3 lines of code that you can use. We have now a lot of the clients, especially the bigger clients, wanted to use it because they want their team to see, I don't want to just get a technology that I'm not going to use. And that's why I need you to really be happy. I don't want you to buy and then say, oh, I don't care, I can't use it. Use it for a little bit, look at it, and then we talk. I'll show you how to understand the use of the dashboard, and then we can later on revisit it and say, okay, does this make use to you?
But one thing I don't understand, you said a setup would require a lot of time. How clearly you don't want to spend that time for a trial?
Not for the trial. Let me explain to you a little bit about the setup.
So what is the limitations then on the trial, so to speak?
Very good. In the trial period, I will make your site look as good as I can for free because I'm doing it for free, something that you can use and understand. Let me give you an example of setup, which you ultimately say, Leon, I don't want to do this. See this hover down here? How every time I select the product, it drops down? Some companies would tell me, I want to see this drop down exactly how it shows on my website. Other people say, Leon, I don't care how it shows and people coming down here. I just, as long as they select this and they go to the next page, I'm happy with that. So this is in the setup. I wouldn't do it initially. So what you will see initially is people going to the next page. But if you ultimately tell me, Leon, I would like to see the drop down, this may require an hour or 2 of work. Do you know what I mean? So I won't do these big things. I will initially in the trial, that's why I call it a trial. I'll let you see what you could get out of the box. And if you say, Leon, this is good for me as is, there may be no setup fee.
Okay. And the ability to track people not completing forms, would that be also a possibility in a
yes,
trial?
Of course. Of course, and that's an easy one. We set up a tag. We'll set up a tag for you. We will, because we're working, I want you to be part of this and be able to take it. We'll try and set up a tag for you. Usually I don't do it for trials, but because you're interested in it, we'll set up one tag that has to do with not abandoning a form before it's complete. How does that sound?
Yeah, that is of big interest for me to know more about. So that is a good example for a trial.
Okay, very good.
What is the risks with the code? Could you send me an example of the code so that I can look at it, what it looks like? I mean.
Oh yeah, no, there's no risk.
It's like now when we are about to launch a new website, so I don't want.
Oh no, it's like your code in Google Analytics. It's exactly like your Google Analytics code. It's nothing. Let me show you the page source here. Hold on. Page source. You have Google Analytics, so Control F.
I do have it.
Yeah, you do. You do have Google Analytics, and you could see this code. I'll show you a sample of ours. Probably it's exactly the same. Let me give you a sample that I used for someone else. Give me a second, if you don't mind, sir.
Hey, it's just 2 or 3 lines of JavaScript.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm very happy to show you.
It's only that we have a few codes in there, Google Analytics, another analytics system, and a kind of rubber band campaign in some pages. So I'm a little bit concerned to have too much.
It won't do anything because all it's doing is sending data. Here's an example that I sent to a client. You know, this is one of the clients that we're sending. This is all you have to do. And what it does, it doesn't even have an impact on performance because all it does is direct data traffic outside the website. That's why it doesn't affect it.
Okay.
Okay. So, would you like me to send you code, or how do you feel right now? Where do you want to? How do you want to proceed?
I'm very thrilled of what I'm seeing here. It's looking very interesting indeed. But before I put my before I commit to do a trial, I want to actually sleep on it a little bit. But,
of course.
So let's me think about this, and let's connect. You know, later in the week, and I will give you my opinion on if I want to proceed with a trial at this point. But it certainly is interesting in many ways.
Very good. I'm glad you're happy, and see anything you'd like, let us know. We're happy to help you with.
Yeah.
And if your technical guys would like to talk to technical people or would like to see what we're the code, I'm very happy to send that to you so you could run it by them, and they will tell you if it has any impact on your website. So
if you can send me that sample code, that would help. Without sending live data, of course, but you can just say wwxxx or whatever.
I'll send you the real code, so they wouldn't have to guess too much. I'll send you the real code, and if you need it, you need it. If you don't, you don't. That way, you could show them exactly what needs to be put on the website.
Yeah. You mean the code for us?
For you.
Yeah.
And if to feel comfortable, you would like your tech people to speak with our tech people so that they can kind of feel good about this. We're definitely we could definitely do that as well.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So I have a lot on my mind for the launch now. Obviously, where do you put this code? Is it in the
at the
same
end
place, or more or less like we did with Google Analytics? Then?
Well, you can put it like Google Analytics. We tell the people to put it at the end of the code on every page.
Actually, there's a specific place. There's a specific place, and I think instructions will be sent with the code itself. It's down towards the footer, I think, at the end of the code.
Okay, got you.
We'll send you the exact instructions on what you need to do. Run it by your technical team. If they want to talk to our technical team, we will be very happy to do that, and that way we can ease your mind of any performance issues or any security issues.
Yeah. Okay. So how long do you normally run a trial like that?
For you, because we're trying to establish business with you in Sweden, we'll give it to you for a month. You can try it for a month, be able to get some good traffic, and be able to play with it a little bit, and then we can discuss. We'll start our discussions in 2 to 3 weeks from now. As soon from the minute you get the trial going, we could. We'll talk 2 weeks after that and see how you feel about it.
Sure. Sounds good.
Sounds good?
Before I commit, I will still have to, sleep on it. But
of course. Well, I'm very happy that we even had the chance to talk. I'm grateful for you to give us the opportunity to present this to you, and hopefully we could be able to work together. I'm glad we spoke.
Yeah. Same here. Thank you very much for now, and let's talk later this week then.
Superb. Thank you very much, Johan, and Nate and I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Okay.
Have a great day.
Take care, sir.
Same to you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Nate, you want to go to
Skype?
Skype?
Okay.
Okay.